What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of FaShaun. We are looking at a really amazing shoe for this episode and breaking it down into its style fundamentals. It is a collaboration with Nike. I think it's probably one of the best Nike, if not the best Nike shoe that they've released in the last 5 years. And you know, we've been overstimulated with a lot of collaborations, but I think this is the one that really brings a breath of fresh air and something new to the table, something that we really haven't seen before, and has really brought my excitement back with collaborations a little bit. And I'm excited to see what this brand and Nike do in the future. So, without further ado, here it is right here, the Nike Jacquemus Moon Shoe. Let's get into it. Okay, so looking at the box right now, I just wanted to highlight how I would say this is the thickest Nike box I think I've ever seen for a collaboration shoe, for a regular shoe. Beautiful, beautiful design, kind of just to show the vintage sort of nature of the Nike Moon shoe that came out in the 70s. So it's just all crackles and nice design, labeling Jacquemus on the side, some wording here, if you can pause the video if you want to read that, and then lastly sort of all the information you need down here. If I open it up, pretty cool. When I first opened this, I didn't know that they were going to give you all this. You're going to get a cool, like, sort of, let me see if I can get it on the camera, like a nice little pin here. Zoom in on that. That you can just pin on if you're feeling sporty, I guess. I guess with everything the Jacquemus, they kind of give you a thing. It just says, merci, merci, de rien, thank you so much, Nike and Jacquemus. You get a nice little like shoe bag there. This was interesting. So you can see it says Nike Jacquemus. The paper's like super thick, like just nothing that you would see. This waxy paper, very nice presentation. Let me get in that. And as I open it up, here are the shoes, okay? So, we'll keep it like that. Actually here, there it is, if I can just balance that, and then we'll have this one here. So, the shoe in itself obviously is made in 2025, it was last month's collab. It says Jacquemus right there on the tongue, Jacquemus on the heel. Little Nike here. You have the recycled plastic sole that they tend to use here, and then, you know, literally the iconic moon shoe design on the bottom with Jacquemus right there. And what I can say is this is probably the nicest shoe that Nike has made in a very, very long time. A very long time, because the quality is unbelievable. Like, the stitching is so solid, it feels, the colors are so rich. I've worn these and walked like 30,000 steps and it felt comfortable the entire way. For a shoe that's designed in the 1970s and then reinterpreted for modern day use, this is unbelievable what they've done. This is a hitter. The price was $225 Canadian, you know, around 180, 175 USD. I think that's totally worth it for this shoe. I don't think I'd ever, like, this is the quintessential red shoe for me. Like, I would not get any other red shoe. It said made in China, which I guess makes sense, but at the end of the day, I also feel that when it was shipped from France. So I feel like Jacquemus, the Jacquemus factory is actually who created this shoe, or who developed and like built this shoe, because I'm very surprised at the quality. It is unbelievable. I bought it because it looks amazing. It looks like exactly like the red shoe that I'd always wanted. But for sure, like, this quality is unbelievable, and it's just nylon and basic fabrics, but it feels so premium. It's really unbelievable what they've done here with this collaboration. But yeah, let's get into more of the facts, purchase rationale, and, you know, go outfit these. Going into sort of the description of what this shoe is, obviously it's a reinterpretation of the iconic early 1970s, 1971, I think, Nike Moon shoe developed by Bill Bowerman. Before Nike was Nike, I believe it was Blue Ribbon Sports. Only like 12 or 15 pairs were ever made, and of the prototype, and recently I think one sold on auction for like $500,000 or something like that. And again, this is a styling channel. We're not going to go too much into the history. If you want, I'm sure there's other videos out there for that if you're interested. But I have to say that the reinterpretation of this shoe is unbelievable because it stays true to that iconic design. Literally iconic, made Nike the billion-dollar company that it is today, and eventually trillion-dollar probably. Except with the reintroduction of the materials, the recycled plastic sole. Like, this is like a super tough sole. Like, these are not gonna fall off. Like, these are not, like, they're so tough. Like, they're super thick and super durable. And even the nylon on top and the suede and the leather on top is so high quality for a Nike shoe that I just don't, like, unless you take a knife to it, I just do not see you destroying this shoe, which I think makes it a good purchase because it has legs, it has longevity, and it's something that you can invest in that looks really, really good, that has probably a good resale value if you were to ever sell it. And I think it's just a good use, a good use of your money, I should say. Going into the purchase rationale, I always say buy vintage, be as sustainable as possible, buy secondhand. Most of my clothes are like that. I would say 95% plus, but every now and then somebody releases a banger that you just have to buy. And I don't have a red shoe, a fully nice red shoe that is designed very well and that has a certain quality to it. Not only does this kind of, in my mind, make the perfect red shoe, at least for me, but it's also a reinterpretation of one of the most important shoes ever made. And because of that, I chose to wake up early, go on the Jacquemus site, and buy it. I don't even think any retailer in Canada, I'm in Toronto, I don't think any other retailer in Canada got them. I didn't get any emails from any of them. I think it was only on the Jacquemus site. I don't even know if Nike released them, but I ended up buying them. They were $225 Canadian all in, including shipping, taxes, duties, all that jazz, and 100% worth it. And I don't need another red shoe. I'm done, pretty much. Going into the market analysis, we're gonna go with cheap, mid-tier, more than the most expensive pair for this shoe. On the cheap end, the only thing I can think of and the best comparison would be the Nike LD1000. When I was doing my research, it seemed to be more of a modern reinterpretation of this shoe, but not exactly this shoe, and there is a red variant that looks very similar to this. Again, both shoes aren't going to be common. You're not going to see other people with them. However, and while the price point is low, I just don't feel that it looks as good as this shoe in any sort of way. Even my notes have that, it's based on history. It's the reason why they released it was because of the Moon shoe, and that's great and all, but if I were you guys, I would spend the money and get this if I could find it cheap somewhere, if I could find it used somewhere, because the LD1000 is fine and it looks similar to this, but it just doesn't have that wow factor that this has, that I think is the reason to buy into this. Secondarily, we have, I would say, the most accurate, or I would say the most fair comparison to this shoe, which would be the Wales Bonaire Adidas Samba in the red. That was actually the shoe that I wanted up until I saw this. Again, very similar shoes, both collaborations, both high quality. I have a Wales Bonaire Samba, the silver pair, I think from one of the first drops, and amazing collaboration. And I really do love, I celebrate that collaboration because she's doing amazing work over at Adidas and now at Hermes. I think she's creative director for men there just recently. Amazing. The quality is the same, the price points are around the same, the look is around the same. If you were to choose another shoe besides this to sort of compare it to see what you're going to be buying, it would be that for sure. Lastly, for the most expensive pair, I put it up to the Margiela Gat in the red with the gum sole, similar to this colorway. I think around $800, $900, whatever you're spending. Maybe on the resale market you can get for $400 to $500, depending on how desperate somebody is to sell. Similar silhouettes, they do the same things when it comes to your entire outfit. However, again, I would not spend double the money for that versus this. I really do think this is the quintessential. I think this is the best red shoe I've ever seen. I'm just gonna go out and say it. I think this is the best red shoe I've ever seen. I think in terms of a sneaker and, you know, versus like boots or anything else with leather, this is it. You're paying more, you're getting better quality. The Margiela Get has its own history alongside this, sure, but I think if you want to spend 1/3 the money and just get this, I would just get this. Okay. So now we've done the sort of unboxing, you know what's in the box, you get why I bought it, what these are, and the comparisons to like other shoes in the market that are similar. Let's do something amazing and my favorite part of the videos, and let's start outfitting. On the body today, we have the Jacquemus Nike collab, some Kith socks, Nike Lab pink sweatpants. We have an old ringer tee from Kieran, an old Nike vintage cropped crew neck that I did myself, a Prada sling bag, pink sling bag, and then lastly a Paris Nike pink satin hat. So going into the styling of the shoes, because they're of a more casual nature, I tend to rock them more casually. I have worn them with a button up before, but I still do feel that if you know when you buy these, you're buying them for comfort, right? And so that's kind of what I've gone with here today. So for fit, contrast, and proportion, my proprietary framework into styling anything. For fit, we definitely wanted to go with something more loose versus tight to the body. You can do that if you're trying to maybe tart them up a little bit and take them into work, into the office, and go a little bit slimmer. But for the most part, you're going to be going with loose. So we have, you know, this vintage loose cropped crew neck that I did myself, sweatpants, the shoes, of course, the socks, and even like the tucked in shirt here is a very loose shirt that just complements it very well. So on that end, we are good. Then we come into contrast, and there's two things: contrast of colors and contrast of textures. In terms of the colors point of view, you always want to complete the circle, as I like to call it, which is if you have one color on one part of your body, you gotta have the same color on another part of your body. So we have pink and pink here, so that completes the circle. Red of the shoes, red of this crew neck here, red over here, completes the circle on that end. The white and the white and cream, and the white and cream, and the white and cream of the socks and the laces and the swoosh complement each other as well. So all the colors here complement, even the black of the Nike swoosh here and the black on this hat as well, complete the circle on black. And then even the strap as well, right, goes with the socks and goes with the laces. So you really want to make sure that there's flow and cohesion throughout the entirety of your outfit. And then when it comes to textures, contrast of textures usually means going from a low pile to a high pile fabric. These are all low pile fabrics. It's all, you know, cotton or nylon based. And even the nylon of the shoes and the nylon of the bag complete the circle on that end. So you just want to make sure that all of your textures are also matching in the same sort of way. If you have something like a mohair cardigan, for example, or something that's high pile, you want something else on your body that complements that, and that's why animal textures are so hard to style, but we'll get into that in another video. In terms of the outfit that I'm going to be rocking outside shortly and bringing you along for the ride, it's this one right here. We're also trying out a new format. I used to do a casual, formal, and experimental sort of outfit. The problem with that was the reality is for specific items, at one point you're pretty much going to rock it in something in a similar way. You're not going to rock it formally, you're not going to rock it experimentally, you're not going to rock it casually. You'll rock it in sort of whichever one suits the most at any given moment in time. And so now we're just going to do one outfit, but the one outfit is what I feel is the best way to really showcase this. There is a really cool experimental outfit I had in mind, and maybe you'll see that on socials at another time, but for now, we're gonna go with this. So, you know, we've done everything that we usually do in the videos. Now let's do the cool thing. Let's go outside. We're gonna go to another nice coffee shop, showcase the vibe of the shoe outside, what people have said. I get a lot of compliments when I wear these shoes, so super excited to bring you along for that. Let's get out there. All right, on the road with them shoes. Hopefully you can hear me with my headphones in. These are an amazing shoe. They're super comfortable. I think I walked like 30,000 steps when I first got them. So they're amazing. We're on the way to Rationale, which is a new coffee shop at Trinity Bellwoods. Let's go. The one thing as well that's amazing about these shoes is I'm flat-footed, I have wide feet, and they don't, like, it looks like a thin silhouette, but they stretch so well. Like, they're such a comfortable shoe. I don't even know what like, this is one of the highest quality, most unbelievably like comfortable shoes that I just had, and they're awesome. Kind of funny because it's kind of cold and kind of gloomy in Toronto right now, and I'm wearing bright pink and red and cream, and it's cold. It's such a contrast to what everybody else is wearing right now. It's so funny.
And depending on the business, the inability to move as quickly as you do today, or mid-market, or even is crazy. And you don't have in many cases, you don't have the best leadership acting.
This place is so sick. I lost it. I didn't know where exactly it was, but now that I'm here, man, sweet, man. It's like an art gallery coffee thing. It's a vibe. All right, got the coffee. We're good. Oh, saw the vape. We're living a good life. Come to Atelier. It's actually fire. There's a workstation upstairs. There's a lot of things that you can do. There's an art gallery. It's actually pretty sweet. Might come here to work a little bit later, but yep, that's it on the Jacquemus Nike collab. They're amazing. I always get compliments. Got compliments in there as well when people saw it. So I think it really sort of is the perfect amount of, oh my gosh, I just stepped in. Okay. It's just the perfect amount of, I guess, class, but comfort in a shoe. And just something that you don't normally see. You really just don't normally see it. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Catch me in the next one. Have a great day, and I'll see you around. Bye.